One of the things that I always tell young couples in premarital counseling is that marriage is WRK, work. I often tell them that when I was a director of respiratory therapy, I had 43 employees that answered to me. I had an operating budget of $1.3 million. But I said managing a marriage is harder than managing that department and those people. So I tell them that it's work, but I don't stop at that. I also say the reward is worth the work. And there's nothing I'd rather be than married.
I want to go back to the your career. A lot of people don't understand that the position that you're in, there has to be some financial reward. Mm-hmm. And usually, if you're going to be a pastor, it's almost like it's almost like taking a demotion mm-hmm. financially. Yeah. What sustained you during that period?
Well, one of the things that Sandra and I had done several years ago, we decided early that we wanted to retire early. We said we weren't going to work until we just dropped. As far as finances, when I was elected pastor of the church, it was my desire to be able to leave the job and come full-time to the ministry. The church today has no idea how much of a cut in salary we took for that to happen. At the Med, between the both of us, we were making almost $150,000 a year together. When I became pastor, our income dropped to a third of that. But we had started a long time ago getting into annuities and paying our bills off. My prayer was that one day I would be a pastor. And when I became a pastor, I wanted to be full-time. So we started working on paying the house off and paying all of our bills off. And we paid the house off 11 years early. I ran across a financial advisor who gave me some advice and told me to start paying extra money on the principal every month. And we started that, and sure enough, we got it paid off 11 years early. So when I was elected pastor of the church, the house was paid for. So I was able to leave the job, and Sandra left her job because we had made preparation for it.
Interesting. I find it intriguing that to become the first black anything is monumental. Have you realized that kind of accomplishment, or is it just something that you haven't really had time to sit back and just enjoy? But yeah, have you realized that kind of accomplishment to become the first black? I mean, anything to be anything. What is your mindset behind that? I mean, do you have time to sit back and enjoy that kind of accomplishment?
No, I never did focus on it too much. What I did the next day, I started putting as much effort as I could into helping as many other black therapists as I could become registered. And when I left the Med, there were about 8 other black registered therapists at the hospital when I left. And so after I passed the test, I devoted myself to helping as many other blacks as I could reach that same level.
Interesting.
I didn't think I could really enjoy it being the only one.
Lastly, I have a million other questions in my head, but we're going to do. Lastly, what has the church meant to you? A lot of, the Pew report just came out, and the church has dropped in percentages, I believe, about 4 or 5% or something like that. And that's a significant number, and most of it is coming from the millennials, the younger generation. Right. I know myself, being a young person, I don't hold every young person to this, but for me, the church has been, a kind of a bedrock in terms of how I view the world. for you, it's expected because you're older. So, you know, for you, you know, they may say, well, okay, you know, he's older. But a lot of people may not realize, you know, the church has been a part of your life, as you stated, you know, since you've been a younger man. What has kept you in the church, and what has the church meant to you?
What has kept me in the church, I think, is the service. The Lord has just given me a heart of a shepherd. And I get a sense of, satisfaction in serving the people. It's not a burden to serve the people. The church knows about my Sunday school class. I have a Sunday school class I teach every Sunday. My Sunday school class is one block up the street under a tree. And I teach Sunday school to some people who won't come to church. They don't feel they can come to church, or for whatever reason, they won't come to church. So this August will make 6 years that I've been going down under the tree every Sunday teaching Sunday school to them. We have Sunday school out there year round. In the wintertime, summertime, springtime. I take them bottled water and juice and pastry in the summertime. Hot chocolate and pastry in the wintertime. And I look forward to going down there. I get something from them when I go down there. So that's what the church is meant to. It's a chance to do something meaningful.
Well, Pastor Fleming, I could ask you a million other questions, but I want to say thank you for doing this interview, and I just want to let everyone know that he has been an influence on my life as well. You know, in the ministry, it was hard for me to even trust a pastor, but the sign that God gave me was to the first pastor you talk to that don't mention music. That's the church you need to join. And you ended up being the first one out of about 10 I had been to that music didn't seem like it was an interest to you.
We never got around to it in the conversation.
We never got around to it. So that's what let me know that, you know, you were someone who was interested in who I was as a human being, and not just what I could offer to the church musically. And outside of me just, you know, just kind of watching your mannerisms, you know, watching Miss Fleming's mannerisms. You would never think she was the first lady. She sits on the third or fourth row. Most first ladies sit on the first row with the big hats and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, the first car I saw you drive was a Malibu. And it was just your mannerisms is what drew me to you. And I felt like you were someone I could trust and someone I could follow. So I want to say thank you for that. You've been a help to me and to my family. And so I wish nothing but the best for you and your family. And we'll have to do this again so I can ask you those other million questions.
Anytime.
All right, thank
But thank you, Broom.
you.